You asked for it, you got it. We're talking about quick changes of direction, explosive speed. This is Plyometrics level 2. It's Maria here from GoalieTrainingPro.com and Goalie Training Pro TV on YouTube. And I gave you the level 1 Plyometrics video here earlier in your off season. Now we're gonna follow it up with some progressions. We're going to start with a lateral hop and stick, but we're going to do a 2 count. So a 2 count means we're going to start here, back, and then stick. And I'm using a 2 count on purpose because I want to get this deceleration, acceleration phase. I want to rapidly strengthen that, lengthen that muscle, and then contract it, because that's going to help us tap in to what's called the stretch shortening reflex. When I quickly stretch a muscle, one of the reflex responses is for that muscle to contract, to shorten, to try and protect you from actually tearing the muscle. So when we add that in with another concentric contraction, we actually get a little bit more power out of the movement. I want you to think about where your hands should be. So let's not use our arms to generate the force. Let's practice moving the way we would move on the ice, because it is quite natural for our body to want to counter rotate, but on the ice it might be natural, but it's not at all what we want you to do. So it's going to be that quick. And make sure when you get here, there is some absorbing and exploding. Sometimes it gets looking, it's like a peg leg. There's no load, you're just popping off. So make sure you absorb, hip, knee, ankle, and then explode. It doesn't have to be super deep. We want it to be quick. So we say, I want you to absorb and explode as quick as you can, as hard as you can. So we're here, and then stick that landing. You're gonna do 2 to 4 sets of 3 repetitions each. So 3 repetitions on this side, 3 repetitions on this side. You're gonna do a 2-second hold at the end of each repetition. So if I'm here, boom, boom, 1, 2, and then go again. The next one we're gonna do is a cycle split squat jump. We're gonna do a 2 count, again with a 2-second hold, 3 each way. So I'm gonna get in my nice split squat position. I'm gonna jump, so 1, 2, that's what the 2 count means. I'm gonna land the same way. I'm gonna hold this for 2 seconds. I'm trying to get as high as I can, as fast as I can each time. And when I land, I wanna land in a good low position. I really like this one for getting that overcoming contraction, overcoming inertia contraction. So if you're on the ice and you have to push, I don't want you to load it like this and go. I want you to just get used to pushing from that low position. Watch your knee alignment here. This knee shouldn't be falling in. And think about keeping your feet hip width apart. Some people get kind of like a tightrope about it. Keep those feet hip width apart. Keep the knee pointing straight ahead. You're gonna do 2 to 4 sets of that. 3 repetitions on each side, but with a 2-second pause after each repetition. So you're gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and make sure you're getting as high as you can. Don't turn it in to just a scissor switch. Before we get much deeper into this, I want to make sure you appreciate the difference between agility training and plyometric training. Plyometric training, by definition, does need that stretch contract, that stretch shortening reflex to be triggered for it to be a true plyometric. Agility training is more taking these ingredients and teaching you the skills to be as efficient as possible with your movements, with your deceleration into acceleration, to shorten that what's called amortization phase. So that time that you're sort of loading and then exploding. How can we teach you to be more efficient and more explosive with your movements? So we think of plyometrics as something you train, even though there is a skill component. Agility training, I think of really as teaching a skill. Now I'm interested to know if you ever get knee pain when you're doing plyometrics, because it's a common problem. So Drop a comment below. Let me know if that's been an issue for you. And then I'm also interested, as I always am thinking what videos to make next, so I'm asking you guys for help. What do you feel limits your ability to keep up with the play? Do you feel like it's your speed, just you can't get there in time? Do you feel like it's your stamina, like you run out of gas? You're maybe good in the first, second, but then it starts to tail off because you're running out of gas? Or do you feel like it's just pure positioning? Hey, I'm fast enough, I just don't know where I'm supposed to be. So please do me a favor, drop a comment below and let me know what you feel limits your ability to keep up with the play. All right, let's get on to the next progressions here. If you're wondering about the box hop up, when do we get to do the box hop up? When do I get to hop up onto a stack of 45-pound plates and that's just wiggling side to side? You missed that already. That was in the level 1 video, so you can check that out when you're finished watching this one. That's where they come in. They're actually in the spectrum of plyometric training. They're a lower intensity exercise. We're going to talk about a depth jump today. And I don't need to jump off the highest box in the gym. This for me is actually going to be good. And I'll tell you how to know exactly what height you should be using for your depth jump in a second. But for starters, the depth jump is just going to use those techniques that we built in video number 1. So again, make sure you go back and watch that Plyometrics level 1 video if you haven't already watched it and you haven't already been using those techniques, because that's where you need to start. So we're going to just step off. We don't need to jump up in the air. We're just going to step off. We're going to hammer down and then jump right up as high as we can, as fast as we can. So I want to absorb and explode, but I also want to be trying to jump as high as I can, as fast as I can. So it'll look like this. And then I hammer down, I stick that landing, and I just take my time to reset. Plyometrics is not a circuit workout. It's not an interval workout. It really is a disciplined technique that I'm trying to improve. I need my mental focus to get maximum effort on every repetition. When you do this one, great idea to set up your phone, video yourself, watch, because a lot of you, your knees will pinch in. And I've actually had goalies tell me, well, it's because I'm a goalie. It's not because you're a goalie. It's because you're not using your lateral hip rotators. So doing this, or if you think this makes it more goalie specific, you're way off. You're way off base, and you're actually putting a lot of load through your knees, which could translate into getting some discomfort underneath your kneecap. So make sure those knees are pointing straight ahead. Get up as high as you can, as fast as you can. The volume for those is going to be 2 to 4 sets of 2 to 4 jumps each set. Now, how do we know what the right size box is to use? Here's a little rule of thumb. You should be able to jump at least as high as the box that you're jumping off of. I don't think I've ever had an 18-inch vertical jump. I'm a stamina girl. I'm an aerobic athlete, so I've never had big jumps. This is about a 12-inch box. It's about right for me. But so if you're going off a big, 18-inch, 24-inch box, and again, you can use your phone to video yourself and see, if you're not getting at least as high as the top platform of that box, it's too high for you. You're increasing your amortization phase, you're increasing the time you're in contact with the ground, you're not maximizing your explosiveness. So it's kind of like trying to just pick up a weight that's way too heavy that you can't possibly lift and think it's making you stronger. You need to just find the right intensity for where you are right now and then work your way up. The next one I'm going to show you is just single leg micro hurdle hops. And it doesn't have to be these kinds of micro hurdles. I like to just lay out sometimes like hockey socks, or even like when you fold up your sports socks and it makes a little tube, you can lay those out. It's really important that it's something you feel comfortable hopping over, that it's something that if you miss your hop, it's not going to trip you up, sprain your ankle, knock you down, and take the wind out of you. So make sure you're really comfortable with whatever tool you choose to use. And remember, this is a level 2. It's a progression from level 1. So we really just want to get you comfortable with that single leg hopping, absorbing and exploding off of one leg. So I'm not trying to go as fast as I can or even as high as I can. I'm actually trying to get it to feel nice and smooth and comfortable for me. So I'm gonna hop, 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 and then I'm gonna try and stick the landing at the end. Great idea if I'm gonna set up my phone to video myself, set it up at the end of the hurdles so you can see, you know, a head-on view. What's my knee doing? Is my knee falling in a little bit as I go through those? And if it is, you know, that's something you can just focus on. Hey, make sure I keep that knee pointing straight ahead. Or if you're not working on some lateral hip strengthening, it's like, okay, I better start working that into my program as well so I have that nice control. We'll start with single leg hops forward because it's the most familiar pattern that we have. But then we do want to get into lateral hops, single leg lateral hops. So if we'd come over and again, try to stick that landing as best we can. Then you can also do it off your inside leg hopping. And you'll see a side-to-side difference. I feel it's a lot harder to go off my right leg on that inside hop than it is to go off my left leg on the outside hop. So it's another way too to see, hey, where are some inefficiencies here? What areas need more practice? So for our single leg hopping, regardless of which pattern we use, it's going to be 2 to 4 sets of 3 hurdles with each leg. The success of your plyometric training or the benefits you get from your plyometric training are directly related to your foundation of strength, stability, quality movement patterns. So if those are things that you haven't been working on in the last 1 to 2 months, just bookmark this video and come back to it later, because if you don't have those boxes checked, then it means that you're trying to add power to faulty movement patterns, and it's going to lead to compensation patterns, which over time very often leads to overuse injuries. I also want to be really clear, this is not a workout. These are the level 2 plyometric exercises we talked about. I did level 1 video here, and I asked you guys, let me know if you want a level 2 video of progressions of some of the different exercises. That's what this video is about. So don't look at this and be like, oh, this is what I should do for my plyometric workout. This is just some exercise progressions that you can add in to your training program at the appropriate time on the appropriate day. If you were like, I don't even know what I should be doing for my training, like I'm completely lost, you can drop a comment below and I can give you a few options of ways that I help goalies online. Also put a link in the description for you so you can learn a little bit more about how exactly I do that. Otherwise, now is the time to hit like. Now is the time to subscribe. Now is the time to hit the bell, because who doesn't love to hit the bell? I guess if you're a Navy SEAL, you ring a bell to drop out, right? So then if you're a Navy SEAL, you might not want to hit the bell. But everybody else, you have no excuse to not hit the bell. Otherwise, I will catch you next time. Same bad time, same bad channel. Love you guys.